Good morning. Lovely song to start with. Tapasya hilati jeevan mein sundarta. So after a lovely morning of yoga, let's read today's assigned Murli. So today we are revising the date of 13th of December 1990. The title, The Foundation of Tapasya is Unlimited Disinterest. Today, Baba is seeing all the loving children offering the flowers of love to Baba. Baba is seeing the shower of flowers of love from the hearts of all the children of this land and abroad. Whether you call it music or you call it a song, Baba is hearing the same music or song from the hearts of all the children. It is the same song, My Baba. The lamps of the pure hope of celebrating a meeting with Baba are sparkling everywhere. Throughout the entire cycle, no one except Bab Dada and the children are able to see this divine scene. The flowers of this unique love are more valuable than the Kohinoor diamond of this old world. No one except you children can sing the songs of the heart. No one else can celebrate such a deep mala. All the children have emerged in front of Bab Dada. Not everyone can sit in this physical place, but Bab Dada's heart throne is extremely large. This is how he sees everyone in an emerged form. Baba also hears everyone's love and remembrance and their loveful complaints, which they consider to be their right. Together with that, Baba is giving in return multi-million-fold greater love and remembrance to each child. Children say with a right that they wish to celebrate a meeting in the corporeal form. The father has this desire, and the children also have this desire. Nevertheless, according to the time, Father Brahma, in his avyakt angelic form, is doing service at a multi-fold faster speed than he did in his corporeal form, and making the children the same as he is. You have been given the experience of an avyakt meeting, and in his service in the avyakt form, not only for 1 or 2 years, but for many years. And he is still giving you that experience. Even though Father Brahma is avyakt, why does he play a part in the corporeal? To make you, and this is such a lovely line, which kind of underlines the role of Brahma Baba, not just for us Brahmins, but for the importance of the whole cycle, the whole drama. So if his role is actually avyakta, why does he need to be in the corporeal? You know, little lines like that give you a lot of secrets into the drama. You know, Baba gives hints, and then you can churn and think in your own way and see if it leads you in a different realm. It's nice to, you know, see the Murli on its face and then kind of just take it as much as my brain can take, but then to kind of let Baba's words in and see if there's a secret and then kind of take you in a different world. That's another joy. That's another way to churn and enjoy the Murli. and see what sort of mindset Baba and Bap Dada come from. So if Father Brahma is Avyakt, why does he play a part in the corporeal to make you the same as he is? And the more you read about Brahma Baba's journey, you can see how much he had to figure everything out. And it's the same for us. He was already Avyakt, he was already complete. But then to live and work out until, through your weaknesses and through your limitedness, through your corporeal, through your body consciousness, to get to your original Avyakt sense. Baba showed us that practically as well. And I think many of us might know how, when Baba was in the Avyakt, Gulzar Dadi, I think, wrote in the Adi Dev book, she wrote that how they actually came to find out that there was a Avyakta Brahma. So once, I think a lot of messages used to come at that time. Someday she came and she mentioned, or she gave a message that Baba has said to stay in silence for a week. So the whole yagya, 300, 400 of them, and of course, physical silence when no one would speak, and then of course, silence of the mind, which they focused more on. And then through that, staying in silence, that's when Gulzar Dadi went into trance, and that's the first time she saw Vyakt Bap Dada. So that's how the revelation unrevealed itself, that they knew, Vyakt Bap Dada was already obviously there. But then through the corporeal, through being so body conscious, through being the end of Kali Yuga, through that, they had to figure it out. So it's the same for me as well, isn't it? Same for all of us Brahmins. When I'm making my journey, I'm confused. I'm feeling like I'm heavy, I'm body conscious, I'm not perfect, but there is a perfect image of me sitting up there. So I have to work through it. I have to reveal myself. I have to trust in myself to get to that, and trust more in that than I do in my weaknesses and my heaviness and I suppose not the fun bit of this Kali Yuga. I have to believe more of myself, that I am complete. I am the Avyakt. My full perfect form is also sitting in the subtle region waiting for me. So Baba wonderfully played every little bit of his life for us children to be inspired by it and to follow. If Baba did that, I will also try and do that, to get to what Baba did as well. So in the Murli, Baba is saying, even though Father Brahma is Avyakt, why does he play a part in the corporeal? To make you the same as he is. Father Brahma comes from the subtle into the corporeal. So what do you children have to do in return? We have to become subtle from corporeal. According to the time, the service of the Avyakt meeting through the subtle form is, and we all miss the corporeal, and now we're even subtler, even beyond the Avyakt meetings. The Baba's line is so wonderful and so powerful. According to the time, the service of the Avyakt meeting through the subtle form is extremely essential. This is why from time to time, Bap Dada keeps giving you the signal to experience the subtle meeting. Therefore, you are now celebrating the year of Tapasya. Are you not? Are we all? Are all of us? Are we busy in doing service and other things? Since the end of last year, I cannot count how many messages from Madhuban and Bhog messages have come where Baba has said, focus on silence, focus on silence, focus on silence, focus on silence. And silence is silence. It's not seva, it's not murli, it's not anything else. Silence is silence. Sometimes we get caught up in saying, at least I'm doing something good. I'm doing one of the 4 subjects. Baba is saying, focus on silence. Focus. There's a lot of power and there's a lot of secrets that silence reveals. I have to love being silent. Physically silent, mentally and emotionally silent as well. So Baba's asking, therefore, you are celebrating the year of the Tapasya, are you not? Bab Dada is pleased that the zeal and enthusiasm of the majority of the children are very good. Only a minority of children think that they have to do something according to the program. One is to do something according to the program, and the other is to do it with zeal and enthusiasm from the heart, from your heart. Each of you should ask yourself, what should we ask ourselves? In which category am I? According to the circumstances of the present time, according to the self-progress, according to the fast speed of service, and according to giving a return of Bap-Dada's love. Tapasya, and again Baba's using that, Tapasya is not optional, not once a month. It is extremely essential. It is easy to have love, and everyone does have love. Baba knows this too. However, in return, Bap Dada wishes to see that you become equal to Bap Dada. This is what Bap Dada wants to see at present. In this, there are a few out of the few. Everyone has the desire, but there is a difference between the number of those who have the desire and those who put it in practice. The easy and constant foundation of tapasya is unlimited disinterest. So the easy and constant foundation of tapasya is unlimited disinterest. To have unlimited disinterest means to leave the shores, the support of all four sides. Why? Because you have made the shores your support. To become loving according to the time and then according to the Srimat and the signals received from the instrument souls, to make your intellect detached from loving in a second, this doesn't happen. You don't become detached as quickly as you become loving. You are clever in being loving, but in becoming detached, you think twice about it and think that you need courage. To become detached means to leave the support. And to leave the support means to have an attitude of unlimited disinterest. And the biggest example that any Brahmin would have gone through is to have the support of corporeal Brahma. The moment he left, of course, you're loving and you're dependent on Baba. a lot of the Yagya was emotionally, physically dependent on Baba as well. But the moment he left, he taught so much. So then everyone was they had the teachings, they had the power, but then how do I sustain myself beyond the corporeal? And I think Prakash Mani Dadiji, she showed everyone that it's possible because she practiced, of course, so much love and care for Brahma Baba, but she stayed and she focused on her self-respect, on her journey, on filling her soul. So when Baba became Avyakt, when Baba left, she wasn't dependent, she wasn't attached. She was extremely loving, but extremely detached as well. So much self-respect she carried for herself. So I think that's something that we can all aim for, hope for, and try and copy as well. So to become detached means to leave the support, and leave the support means to have an attitude of unlimited disinterest. You know how to make sure your support and hold on to it. And what do you do when you have to leave it? You put a big question mark. You know how to be in charge of service very well, but as well as being in charge, you find it difficult to charge the battery of yourself and of others. This is why it is extremely essential. Baba is loving that word today, extremely essential. This is why it is extremely essential at the present time to adopt an attitude from unlimited disinterest. And how do we get to unlimited disinterest? Through tapasya. The special basis and easy way for the success of tapasya is to make the lesson of one, ek, firm. It is difficult to write the figures 2 or 3. It is very easy to write 1. Tapasya means to belong to one. This is what Bap Dada calls belonging to the one, ek nami. Tapasya means to stabilize, ekagra, the mind and the intellect. The mind and the intellect. Tapasya means to be loving, being in solitude, ekant. Tapasya means to maintain a stable, ekras stage. How many ek's we have? We have ek, which is ekaba, and eknami, ekagra, to be stabilized, ekant, to love solitude, and then ekras, to be stable. Tapasya means to save yourself from wasting all the treasures you have attained. That is, to move along with economy. So the lesson of one is now firm, is it not? Is the lesson of one difficult or easy? It is easy, but ... You won't use such language, will you? You are very, we do that sometimes, don't we, when we're writing, Baba, it's so easy, but then this happens. Baba, but then I forget. Baba, then I get tired. We love the reasoning and giving the buts to Baba. You won't use such language, will you? You are very, very fortunate that you have now been liberated from the many types of labor. Time will make the people of the world ready, and they will be ready out of compulsion and at the appropriate time, whereas the Father is preparing your children before time, and you are doing it out of love for the Father. If you don't do it out of love, or if you do only a little, what will happen then? You will have to do it out of compulsion. When Dharamraj starts, or when you've got no other option left, you will have to do it out of compulsion. You will definitely have to have unlimited disinterest. However, you don't receive any fruit from that compulsion. The instant fruit of love also accumulates as the future fruit. What will those who do it out of compulsion have to cross? You have to cross something. To have to cross something is the same as having to be on a cross. Which do you prefer? You will do it out of love. Bap Dada will at some point tell you about the list of the supports. You are very clever in knowing about it anyway, but Baba will revise it. Because Bap Dada can see the children's daily timetable whenever he chooses. He doesn't do the business of watching the timetable of each one throughout the day. You saw corporeal Father Brahma. Where did his vision automatically fall? Whether it was a letter or a chart, or whether it was someone's behavior. Even if it was an 8-page letter, on what did his vision fall? Something to think. What did his vision fall? Onto that where a direction had to be given, where it was necessary. And that's a lot of discerning power, isn't it? We throughout 24 hours, we get so much input, output, interaction, so much is happening. Our direction, where does it leak? Is it gossip? Is it interest? Is it attachment? Is it fear? Is it subtle fear? Is it courage? Where does my attention automatically go to? So Baba had great discerning power. So he said Vishakti is out of discerning power. So much is being said, but he knew how to go and find what was necessary, and just focus on that and kind of have the power to let go of everything else. So Bap Dada observes everything, but he doesn't see. He recognizes everything, but he doesn't know. Whatever is not necessary, he neither sees nor knows. He observes very good games. Baba will tell you about that at some other time. Acha, it is easy to do tapasya and to maintain an attitude of unlimited disinterest. Is it not? Is it difficult to leave the shores? However, you are the ones who want to become something. You have claimed the right to attainment every cycle, so you will definitely become that. Acha. This ye, the children of the previous cycle, those who are old from many cycles and who are new in this cycle, have been given a chance. You are happy that you have been given a chance, are you not? The majority are new and the teachers are old. What will the teachers do? You will imbibe an attitude of disinterest, will you not? Will you leave the show? Or at that time, you will say that you want to do it, but ask, how can you do it? Are you the ones who show others by doing it? Or are you the ones who speak in that way? Baba is pleased to see all the children who have come from everywhere in the corporeal form. You have maintained courage, and you always receive the Father's help anyway. Therefore, with courage, constantly continue to experience the right to receive the Father's help and continue to fly easily. So have courage, receive help, and then fly easily. The Father gives help, but those who want it must take it. And the Father wants to give, and He gives. He wants to give, and He does give. The Father gives help, but those who want it must take it. The bestower gives, but those who take it do so according to their capacity. So you must not become those who are according to their own capacity, but be those who are constantly all powerful. Then those who come late will take a number ahead. Do you understand? Claim your full right to all the powers. Acha. It's nice sometimes to remember what all the powers are: the power to discern, the power to tolerate, the power to adjust, the power. So, kind of go through, just mala japte, go through that throughout the day as well. So you go, okay, did I use the power to discern correctly? Did I use the power to let go correctly? Just kind of remind yourself throughout the day, because how else will I become more powerful? It's the power to discern, the power to tolerate, the power to let go. Take a power, attach it to the 5 minutes of your day, and then see how you go with it. Does it make you comfortable? Does it come easy? Does it need more practice? Kind of attach it. So how else will I become more powerful? So Baba is saying, claim your full right. And say it's my right to use the power to decide. It's my right to tolerate. It's not something I have to do because of the circumstance forcing me. It's my right. It's my right to let go. It's my right to adjust. It's my right to tolerate. So the wonderful line Baba tells us to fill our mind with such powerful terms and words. So claim your full right to all the powers. Acha. Let's take Baba's love. To all the loving souls in all directions, to all the special souls who always give the return of Father's love, to those who constantly remain stable in the stage of an image of Tapasya, to the souls who are close to the Father, to those who constantly put the characteristics of the aim of becoming equal to the Father into a practical form. To all the children from this land and abroad, love, remembrance, and namaste. From the deepest depths of the heart of Baba, the comforter of hearts. Now we have meetings. We might just read one because we have a few more minutes. Okay, Avyat Papta, the meeting the Dadis. The ones with the 8 Asht powers, you are the specially beloved deities.
Om Shanti, sister.
Yeah.
We can take these meetings tomorrow.
Sure.
Hmm?
Okay.
It's a long Murli, so we can continue it tomorrow.
Yes. Okay, let's have a minute of silence then, and then we can discuss. Did we enjoy from the Murli? What inspired us? If you'd like to unmute and please share.
Om Shanti, sister. So, Baba says, we have to become equal to Baba, Bap Dada, through this Tapasya. For that, Baba says we have to make one lesson firm. So that is of one. So, Eknami, Egagrata, Egant, Egaras. Baba used these rhyming words, Eknami, Ekagrata, Ekandapri. So Ekaras, all that is very nice. So when we become firm on this, right, then we will eventually become Bapsaman. So that is what is our objective is.
And it's very nice. Kind of a juxtaposition between what normally we say we want variety, isn't it? Everyone wants something different, something new. Even with food, you're like, I want something different today. Every day roti sabji every day. It's another where the body is conditioned to find newness from the outside, so we want new and we want more, and that's what we're conditioned to. But Baba, the spiritual science or the spiritual law is the more you're focused on one, the more concentrated you become, the more stable you become, the more focused you become on one. Then, I think it's a Sanskrit thing that says, Ek sade, sab sade, sab koi. So if you call one, that kind of focus and that energy on one and you've just done tapasya one, that lets you bloom in so many ways that you can't imagine. But if you're running after too many things, I guess being disloyal in a way is in that you're not really focused on one, you're here and there, you're running around, your energy probably gets scattered. So you're not really sure what we want in life. You want a bit of this, you want a bit of Baba, you want a bit of Dadi, you want a bit of, classes that brother gives and that doctor gives, and that's we enjoy all of that. We kind of sometimes shift away from the aim of just one. My life is Baba. My life should be just Baba, because that focus will kind of, I think where a lot of Brahmins get trapped, if we watch in our lives, is we don't really get trapped in Kali Yugi Maya and all the vices really per se. But our vices are these subtle ones. I love seva. So, I'll focus more on that, and sometimes I'll forget to, have proper traffic control. And how I sometimes feel agitated when, in the middle of something, the traffic control goes off. So how do I feel when I have to be just me and Baba, just me and Baba? I was giving a public talk once. Go on, please.
Yeah. Sorry. Actually, yeah, the support that Baba says, right? We have to leave the shore. So I was thinking, you can, if sister, if you can touch upon that, the shores that Baba is talking about, so that actually holding us back, right, from becoming Bapsama.
Yeah. Because I think ultimately it's courage and trust. I really bring it down to trust. No, I can only talk from personal experience. A lot of Brahmins kind of, our shores are seva, our shores are Didi ne kaha, our shores are that brother's class, that sister's class, that dadi's class. Our shores are not really, so there's still vices, but we kind of, the covering is different. We do it because when it's tapasya time, when it's yog time, when it's amrit vela, when it's, my time to decide it's just me and Baba, my mind should not even go to Murli. Unless I'm having a really, they're yuktis if I'm having a very agitated mind. But what the Dadi showed us, what the Ashtratan do, and what Baba focused on, why he keeps saying silence, 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 which I honestly find missing a lot in us, because we're more about seva. The world has, which is right for the time, but I have to find what's important to me. The core being and my core effort, I suppose, should be just silence. And that sometimes means having to say no to a few things that the yajna requires me to do, or, that I'm doing my correct timetable but when it's time for me to do, because, many times we see, we're very busy in tapasya, we're very busy in seva, and the traffic control goes off. And how many seconds or how much courage does it take? Sometimes it's an obligation for me to, because everyone is doing it around me. So but my mind is stuck in, I have to stir the sabji I'm making. I have to finish doing what I'm doing. I have to finish talking. I have to finish writing that line. Then I'll go and get into silence, which I don't know, it's not wrong, but it shows me that I'm still attached to other things. Because, when there's, even in bhakti, they say, Jab kal ka bulawa aaya, when it's the time of death, if that moment has come, that's it, you're done. So that's what I'm practicing for in my Brahmin life as well. Not as a negative thing, but I have to practice how attached I am. Sometimes it's just a matter of, I've got toast in the toaster. So I'm saying, okay, it's got another 20 seconds to go. So I wait until that's done. And then I go, okay, I'll do my traffic control. But if it was actually the time of me, it was actually the bang that, the last danka where I had to go, okay, that's it. So does my mind get, okay, let me just finish this, then I'll go home? Okay, let me just, finish these last few lines of the seva letter I'm doing. Then I'll become, then I'll become ikagra, then I'll remember Baba. So it's a matter of having courage and just checking yourself. Where does my mind go? It's not I'm doing anything wrong. I was going to mention when I did the public program, I mentioned this. And, when I did mention, it's not like you're going to let your toast burn, but that's for the public. But as BKs, let your toast burn. How much does it, if it's that moment you decide, it's the bang, can I remember Baba at that very second? Can I just leave everything and that's it? It's time to go home. That's the practice I need to bring about in my life, whether it's seva, it's Murli. I need to see how silent I can be the moment it's required at a random time. And how do I do that? I have to bring, Baba's given us so many tools, and I keep, I love the traffic control because it shows me, 10, 20 times worse. However many times, every hour it goes off. So much is going on in my day. Traffic control goes off. Where does my mind go? Usually it wants to finish or it wants to close off, get closure with what is being done. So some power obviously in myself is missing that does not let me that very moment just go straight to Baba. And you can, I don't know what everyone else's experience is. Maybe you can pitch in a bit more.
Om Shanti system. Tapasya, Vairagya. I think these two are such a deep subject, and these two are so closely connected. Now, according to what is happening now, when Baba says each of us have to do self-progress, and the speed of service is also becoming fast. That's why Baba went Avyakt, because he wanted to increase the speed. And now, after becoming Avyakt, he wants to make all his children equal to him. So, to give a return of that love which Bap Dada had on us, tapasya is very much needed. If you see the word tapasya itself, no, it means tap, tap, tap. Just, mar, ke, it's something a kind of, we are sitting on an urn of fire, or it's something, a deep kind of thing. That's why tapasya, Baba has given all that takes, ekagrata, eknami, ekant. So everything of that Baba says should be in tapasya. And I remember, and I love this word 90 because that was the time when I was just ushered into the Gyan. It was 1 year after that which I took it up, but Tapasya was there till 1992. So these Murlis over here, Baba, why does he explain to us? Because in order to bring about unlimited disinterest, it means we have to leave all the four sides. See, when you just cross the shore, it'll have four sides. Are you going to go, or are you going to jump away from the boat to where your thing is? It's not easy. Like it is said, it is easy to be detached, loving, but you don't become detached as quickly as you become loving. We love our body. When somebody dies, as I was sharing even yesterday, somebody is very sick and all, there's a sudden attachment towards that person's body or that person's life. So detachment doesn't come like that. So if when you become detached means you leave the support. And when you leave the support means you have unlimited disinterest. You know how to go to the shore. You know how to support. You know how to hold on to it. But what do you do when you have to leave it? We have to see. Imagine yourself in such a situation when you're going to leave the shore. What is there that side? Is there anyone ready to hold me? Will I be okay? There are so many kinds of this. For that, Baba says you have to charge the battery of yourself, which generally we call it as tapasya. It's a very deep subject, tapasya, unlimited disinterest, and also which includes in it loving and detached. Om Shanti.
And I think that's the secrets of the drama, isn't it? The way Baba has laid out this wonderful confluence age. There's so many layers and so many teachings, but we have to be open to receive what's there, what Baba is trying to teach me. We are still kind of get lost in, bhakti, it's so easy. I remember once, I was just sitting like this, sometimes you just relax. And one BK sister came, she said, oh, we don't do bhakti. So it's not about, it's not like that you can't go to the temple, you can't cover your hair, you can't. It's not about that. It's what sanskars I bring about. Am I just doing it for, kind of copy pasting from one to the other? As I said, our voices are just being covered with a different facade. Now it's about seva, and it doesn't have to be that I'm trying to show off or something, but my mind is attached in it. My mind wants to achieve something, which if it comes from a good seva, if Baba gets, whatever comes in front of me, Baba wants me to do, I do, and then that should be it. I should have no inkling to the result that it brings. It should have no sort of an impact on me per se. If I get blessings, this, that, whatever, that's the byproduct of it. But am I doing it so I can get something from it? So where am I attached? These are things I need to check within myself and really read Baba's life, really go through what Brahma Baba practically showed us, and I would go even Mama's book and Prakash Mani Dadi and probably just stop there because, once you shouldn't really be going into bodies anyway, but, we have, because we need the corporeal, and that was the line Baba said in the Murli today. He's a Vyakt angel, but he became corporeal so he can show you the way. So only Brahma Baba, only Brahma Baba. We have a tendency to, things are good. Everyone is good. All the BKs are wonderful. Everyone gives wonderful classes because Baba gives them the power, but then we get lost. You see the person, you see the virtue, or you see the weakness, and we get lost. We get trapped in that. I have to be focused on what my aim is in life. My tapasya. The word is not just tapasya for the sake of it. What tapasya do I do in my life? Now, tapasya is, it's tap. The word is to burn yourself. If I'm not doing anything that is a little bit extra, that makes me, I know is, for example, looking after children or helping people in your Lokik relatives or anyone, you're helping them. That's a good thing, right? Of course, that's a good thing. But perhaps I can try just the spiritual power, which says, let that soul learn their own lesson. I don't have to interfere every time they do something wrong, every time they need a handout. How will they learn? If I don't let a child fall and then get up and walk, they will never learn to walk. So same law should apply to all my relationships. I'm not being cruel by learning to step away. I'm not being unfair, or people say, you're a BK, you're so nice, you're so available, do this for them, help them with this, do that. Yes, but I also need to have the courage to let the soul learn their own lesson. Because if I go and pitch in every single time, fix it for them, what have they learned? That's my subtle attachment, perhaps to that soul, or perhaps to my own achievement, my own virtue, that I want to use it, I want to show it off. But is it for me? Is it my place? So that's the conversation I need to have with Baba. Where do I step in? Where do I step away? What does Baba want me to do? This is my bhakti sanskar saying, okay, someone's having a tough time, let me use my virtues that Baba has given me for service to help a Lokik, to help in a Lokik field, or even in an alokik field. But you have to be, because it's more an energy play, and see, why am I doing that? And it's a very subtle thing. And the example of Prakash Mani Dadi, she had so many love, virtues, but she only used it. And that comes when you have a clean heart linked only to Baba. Courage to do what's right, and courage to do when you need to use that power. It's not your power to use. That's a bhakti sanskar. You have it, you use something and you've helped someone, done. What have I not let them learn their lesson? Have I misused the power? Was it my ego that was, wanted to show it off, or just kind of use it without thinking? It's God has given me something. So is it really mine then? So deeper conversations I need to have with myself. What tapasya means. What does it mean to leave the shores and not just do things for the sake of, because it's a good thing or a right thing to do. And does that sort of resonate?
Sister, when you spoke about tapasya, you spoke about the word tap. There's a song even, Tapasya Vahi Hai Jiska Ang Ang Ho Sheetal. There's a very beautiful song. In this Murli, there is a sentence which I would just like you to throw some light. Bap Dada observes but doesn't see. He recognizes everything, but he doesn't know. Whatever is not necessary, he neither sees or knows. Now, this was a very pink sentence like what Bab Dada doesn't see and what he doesn't know. That was more. Can you just throw light on what is the meaning of this particular statement?
I mean, I wouldn't really comment on Bap Dada's point of view because I can't. But what I took from it was just that it's, just sur pakadte, they say to be what Brahma Baba had the power to discern so much, the power to discern. So, on a platter of the example we were just giving before, everyone needs help, right? People want charity, people don't have food, people don't have water. Is it my place to step in at that time? Or is it something, a lesson that soul needs to learn? The world, someone's hungry, you give them, you give them food. Is that a wrong thing? No, it's not. It's a very charitable thing. But perhaps from a spiritual point of view, if I keep helping that soul every time me help someone else help, will that, because that soul hasn't come to just fulfill their physical, food, water, shelter. They haven't. They've come to learn a spiritual lesson. So if I interfere in their journey a lot or too much, or even, sometimes it's nice to help them and, nice to be that. But if I'm interfering, that's the power I need to, that's something that I get from Baba. Am I interfering or am I helping? Where do I need to help? Because if I, they're hungry, I give them food, okay, very good deed. But have they learned the soul, the lesson that the soul needed to learn? It's not, they didn't come here to make sure they had a healthy body. They came here to learn a soul lesson, and that can't come through unless they use their own power. So if I'm interfering and they are not using one of their own powers. So I think perhaps that's what Baba says. He knows everything. He observes. He knows the weaknesses and, all the stuff that I go through and so much drama and so much relationship pressures. But he lets me go through that. He lets me go through that. He wants me to go through that. Not because he can't stop it. Not because he's God. He can stop it in a second. Why does he want me to go through these hardships? Why? Because he wants me to use my powers. He wants me to know how to use my powers. He observes that I am miserable sometimes, but he lets me be. So some way I know how to use my own power. I can't do that if someone comes and helps me and makes my life all flowery again. He starts off with, I am making Satyug where everything is flowery. But now is the time for you to go through the challenges, go through the hardships, and you know how to use your powers from X, Y, Z in different ways. That applies to my life, and it also applies to how I use my virtues, where I use the powers Baba has given me, where I use the, what Baba wants me to do, not at the wrong space, not at the wrong time. Sometimes it's not my place. I just have to observe. Let that soul, of course, don't let them, don't become, I think that's where attachment comes, because we see, oh my God, that poor soul, when we go and quickly help them. Let them use their own power. Let them use figure out their own way. Support them, give them lots of sakash. And sakash is something I think us as Brahmins really underuse, really underuse. We go physical service, wonderful, perfect. I love doing it. And it's easy, right? Going to the dishes, making a meal, doing some admin, doing some accounts. I love, because it's easy. All of us do it. But Baba says, the highest form of seva is mansa seva. That's the highest form. How much do I trust words? That Baba said, the more subtler you help them, the more subtly, but you don't get any recognition. I've given, someone's having a difficult time, I go help them out physically, yay, great praise for me. So that's what I default into, isn't it? That's what we all default into, because it's easy and I get praise and it's wow. Oh, I say a few nice, lines of gyan. I share with them what Baba said. It's easy because I get instant feedback. There's communication. I feel great. But it's the hardest to do Mansa Seva, because there's no God knows I've done it. Baba knows I've done it. I know I've done it. But that person's not going to know. Sometimes my ego wants to claim, maybe, my ego, I'm the one that made that thing, I'm the one that helped that project, but I only did Mansa Seva. So where does my ego interfere? Am I able to just observe and kind of, relish in my own self without too much feedback, without too much recognition? Am I okay just being a no one and doing lots of mansa seva? Help them, support them with your vibrations, not your words and your physical thing. Let that soul learn their lesson. Up in that, burn yourself in that. Burn yourself and also let the other person burn and then shine through with whatever powers they need to grow with.
You can say he let goes because he wants his children to grow and become equal, even though he is Jani, Jan, and Har. Can we take it like that? He let goes.
Absolutely. You have to let a child fall before they can walk. If a mother carries a baby his entire life, he will never know what walking is. You have to let them widow fall, have a few scrapes, maybe, fractures and all of that. But you have to, otherwise they will never know. It's the same with all the powers and the virtues and living life, life lesson. Wonderful. Anyone else? Any
Yeah,
other point?
I think it is very important to understand where my intellect is scattered, right? That's first thing. And then removing them from one by one and then attaching it to Baba, right? That practice is very much important because end of the day, everything is going to go off except Baba. So that realization alone is not enough, but also reaching there, that practice from my side is also very much required. Right. So disinterest is only helping me. The more I get disinterest on one side, the more I get attached to Baba. Right. That's how it has to be. Right.
Yeah.
You have to leave everything one side and then get attached to the other one. Right. So we'll have to find out where all the support I'm taking. So we need to replace it with Baba.
Yeah, and it works both ways, isn't it? If I love Shahi Paneer, for example, there's so much emotion attached to it, isn't it? So perhaps sometimes, whatever it is that I love in life, perhaps it's time to, can I detach from it? Because sometimes it's actually just a lot of work. Sometimes it's not about um, I mean, I don't know, everyone's experience is different, but every time you sit in yoga, it's not always this bliss and this power. You go, wow, I love Baba. I don't know. Maybe someone does. But sometimes it's just a matter of following my timetable. 2 a.m., wake up, remember Baba. How do I feel? Some days I feel great. Sometimes there's so much power, but some days there's so much going on that I don't know. And that's when, Gozada Divishe, that's perhaps when you can use a point from the Murli. But at other times, your Amrit Vela, your yoga time should just be a yoga time. Yoga does not mean reading Murli. Yoga does not mean thinking and churning about something. Yoga means just me and one, me and one. So I have to kind of, even though all four subjects support each other, they're four different subjects. One does not fall onto the next. That's why, I was giving the example of traffic control. Many times me and everyone around me in the middle of seva and we just say, we'll just finish these 30 extra seconds, then I'll remember Baba. But if it's the time for yoga, how quickly am I able to let that go? And sometimes it's, with Baba, I feel it's a lot of trust. We love Baba, every one of us love Baba, but how much do I trust that God will give me everything? And that's where my attachment to other things happen. Some because, well, I love this food, I can't let go of chili, or I can't let go of that because I still feel some sort of an attainment from it. I love that taste, or I love hearing something. I still like the attainment I'm getting from some way, someone, something else, more than I trust that God is the one who can give me a plethora of those experiences. So I have to also start trusting Baba that, Baba has said, I'll give you everything. That includes, 5 billion times the taste I can get from Shahi Paneer or from my favorite song or from my favorite being. Baba can provide all of that. So I have to start cultivating that as well. I have to start trusting it intellectually and then start cultivating it. When I do eat something nice, can I just, do a practice where I go, okay, not that, just Baba. So very valid point, brother, that you said that I have to start detaching from other things as well, because I have to start noticing and then having the courage to, because many things we take for granted and many things we just kind of don't take the courage to check because it sometimes becomes too much. But keep taking the power from Baba, and for little things also, just it's not about living a boring bland life and letting everything go. And I think that's why, when the beggary part comes, that's why Dadi shared that he wanted to feed 30, he fed Dadi so well. He loves, a grand, wonderful life, wonderful clothes. That's why he's making Satyu, right? But at the same time, he also wanted to bring in just beggary part, we got nothing. Where does my intellect go then? How strong and powerful am I? How much do I trust myself and Baba that, yes, I can go through this as well. I can enjoy all the dry fruits and all of that as well, all the luscious and the lovely life. But do I also love myself when I have no one and nothing and not doing everything? So having, I guess the balance of both and in having us that seamless journey and not being too up and down and being extremely happy when things are going very well, my service is going well, my stage is well. But even when I'm a little bit lower and other weaknesses are coming up, maya's coming up, or all sanskars are coming up, I'm going through a hard time, even at that time I should be able to love myself and respect myself. Yes, I am still a great abhyakt that how God sees me. I'm still a wonderful, great soul. So letting my weaknesses also be, letting my old sanskars be, that's just a game. It's just a game. Baba said, what Baba said, you're a number one soul. Baba saying, I love you. That's a big thing. Those high self-respect points, keep that, even when you're not doing such a great thing in your life. And that's not a punishment. When also scars come already, something horrible is happening, it's not a punishment. It is just to see. It's a game for you to see how much can I stay in my self-respect. It's just a game. It's just a next level challenge. A challenge to see, can I stay here? Or how much can I stay here? How much do I enjoy still loving myself and being in my avyakt, my angel form, even when everything around me is not so great. So take life as a game, enjoy, trust Baba, and play around with it. Play around, it's a lot of fun then. I think we shall stop and perhaps unless someone's got something, have a minute of silence maybe. How do you want to end? So should we end?
Yes, sister, we'll close the session. Short meditation or song, preferred a song.
स्नेह सागर तेरे स्नेह में हम नैनों को अपनी भिगोए हुए हैं, सांसों की तारों में ओ बाबा तेरी यादों के मोती पिरोए हुए हैं, वो स्नेह सागर। ये महसूस होता यही पास में हो, हमें देख कर के क्यों मुस्का रहे हो, सदा साथ मैं हूँ बच्चों एहसास के इस समंदर में हमको तीरों के जैसे संजोए हुए हैं। स्नेह सागर तेरे स्नेह में हम नैनों को अपने भिगोए हुए हैं। स्नेह सागर। Thank you everyone. A lovely morning.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Arman sister. Thank you, Divine Family. We shall connect again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, you all have a beautiful day. Om Shanti.